With the 1.6 update, a lot of new content was added to Stardew Valley. But I'm really interested in which of the exploits that were in the 1.5 update survived in the new one. So today, I'll be testing all of the exploits that existed in the previous patch to see if they work in the new one. But before we begin, please do press the subscribe button so you join our little community. It's totally free and it helps me out a lot. So let's find out which of the exploits managed to survive. Starting off from my good old friend Marnie. Marnie had an exploit that if you name the animal you've bought from her with an item ID, like for example 74 in brackets, which is the item ID for a prismatic shard, or 645 in brackets, which is the ID for the Iridium sprinkler, you would in turn spawn those items in your inventory as Marnie says the name of the animal. The limit that you can go for is 3 items, so by making your chicken name 163, 74, 645 and buy the chicken, when Marnie says the name, it will spawn the legend fish, prismatic shard and an Iridium sprinkler all in your inventory. And this exploit has managed to survive even in the 1.6 update. The second exploit that we have is pretty similar, but this time it is with a player name. If you name your character or farm name with item IDs, anytime a villager would say the player's name or farm name, it would spawn those items in the player's inventory. I made a new character just to test this out and I was rich from the start. It's neat to know that things like this exist, since it's fun to mess around and enjoy the game from different aspects every now and then. You can name your character from the start of the game, or use the renaming shrine in the wizard's basement to change your player's name. If you do that, you will see a neat little message from Concerned Ape as you change your name to an item ID, knowing that we're cheating. But it's still pretty fun. And at this point I think it's even a part of the game, so it's still alive in the new update. Next up we have another old exploit that has been in the game for quite a while, and that is the multiplayer duplication glitch. So when I tried it out with Ruckus aka Catnurse on the community farm that we have on the Discord channel, it successfully duplicated the item on the table. The trick to this is to both pick up the item from the table at the same time, and it will give you both an item in your inventory slots. So this one still works. The next exploit that I want to talk about is the chair exploit. The chair is one of the most powerful tools in Stardew Valley, and I made a few videos on it. You can use it to get to the secret woods earlier, get into the villagers' rooms without the required friendship points, and even get to some areas quite earlier than expected, if combined with some other exploits, like Day 1 Mines and Day 1 Quarry. I thought that this wasn't gonna work, but when I tried to enter the secret woods, I just went straight in. And I could say the same that this exploit was still alive. But I needed to see if I could enter the villagers' rooms as well, since that's a bit game breaking. For this to work, the door had to be at least open, so I had to have entered the house before they exited the room. And when I tried it out, I was amazed to see that it still worked, and I could easily enter their room. For example, I could get Louis' shorts. But sometimes you'll need a few tries at least. But it's safe to say that this exploit still works. And for the next one, and it's one that everyone knows about, and that is the out of bounds glitch. This is quite awesome since you can explore areas that you've never been to, and seeing that for a bit can be quite interesting. You just need to have patience for this to work and to know when to move, so you don't enter the other zone by accident. I tried it out at the train station and it worked like a charm, meaning it was still feasible to access other areas that are out of reach and even open up some secret encounters, like the one with Mr. Key that was added in the 1.6 update. I made a video on it and it's quite fun to see this interaction from Concerned Ape with the players, but it's quite creepy. So far, the exploits that I have known about, they all worked even in the new update, meaning they're a bit harder to fix, but also they are a part of the game for some of the players, and even Concerned Ape thinks about that as well, so he doesn't want to remove it from the game. But now, let's see about some of the other ones as well. The next exploit that I want to test out is the clay farming. Well, this was more of a feature than an exploit, but after testing it out for a bit, it didn't work sadly. And that was because Concerned Ape updated the randomness factor that was previously in the game for the pattern for clay spawning. So this was one of the things that sadly died out with the new update. There is a trick, however, to go back to the old farming method, but that needs to be implemented at the start of the new farm. And that is choosing the legacy randomization, which will have the randomization options for everything from the older updates. That way the clay farming method will work on the playthrough, and that can't be changed if you have already started a farm in the options. Another exploit that I wanted to cover was the Statue of Perfection. This was a well-known exploit that was used to get an infinite amount of statues of perfection, and it was fairly simple. Get a statue of perfection from Grandpa's shrine and just place it on the farm. Then fill out your whole inventory with items and hit the Statue of Perfection with a tool, and by doing this, the game doesn't detect that you have a Statue of Perfection, since it's not placed on the farm and it's not in your inventory or chest. Afterwards, when you interact with the shrine again, it will give you a new statue. By doing this, you could have an infinite amount of statues on the farm. But when I tried to do it now, I didn't get a new statue, sadly, meaning that this was fixed in the new update. And also, after the update, I had to try the old and iconic exploit, which lets you get ice cream without anyone being at the ice cream shop in the summer season. This works by just having a monster, or the most easy way, your horse next to the ice cream stand. I did that and it turned out this exploit still works. So we can still get ice cream without anyone selling. And the horse will become quite rich in the game. I just don't know where he spends all that money though. Another exploit that was in the 1.5 update was concerning the Geode Crusher. The Geode Crusher was introduced in that update, but there was a small bug with that as well. When you opened up geodes at Clint's shop and got something special, like for example a prismatic shard from them, if you stopped and put the next geode in the Geode Crusher, you would have gotten the same item that you got from Clint. This was a small bug, but still quite game breaking, since you could get a 100% prismatic shard from the next geode, and while testing this, it turned out that Concerned Ape had fixed this bug in the 1.6 update. And another exploit, which I can't say it's an exploit since it's implemented by Concerned Ape, and that is the recount nuts command. By using this command you can get the golden walnuts, since the game recounts the walnuts which you have picked up, but you can just spam this command and get a lot of walnuts this way, which can be used at Mr. Key's shop, and it still works in this patch as well. This was implemented for people that couldn't get all of the golden walnuts in their playthrough, so you could get them that way. And there you have it. These are all of the exploits that I know of which were in the game and their fate in the new 1.6 update. Some were fixed and some were left as it is, since I think they're already a part of the Stardew Valley experience. What do you think about these, and do you use some on your playthroughs? Let me know down below. The one I use mostly is the out of bounds glitch, since it lets you explore areas even more, finding neat little secrets around the game. But everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you like, consider subscribing to the channel since it helps me out a lot and it's totally free. I hope you all have a great day and I will see you all in my next one. But till then, stay safe.